Okay, good morning. Today is the regularly scheduled, or actually rescheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen. It is April 15th at 8:30 a.m. We have before us today's agenda, and I would like to ask for approval to add four items to the agenda. I'm going to do them in mass, and if you have a problem, we'll do them one at a time. But first is to add an interim health director discussion right after item 11. An acting tax collector item after that. And then Irwin Park project for trees after item 22. And then Capo field materials testing item after 22 as well. Could I get a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. And then could I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you. And then the minutes from our March 25th meeting, any additions or corrections?
Nope. Looks good.
If I could get a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. All right, public comments. Members of the public are welcome to provide comments to the Board of Selectmen on agenda topics scheduled for review and or vote. Comments submitted electronically should be sent to the following email address, bosdistribution@newcanaanct.gov. Do you have anyone wishing to address the board? Okay. Moving on, external audit firm, Ann Kelly Lentz.
Need a PhD to get this thing on. Good morning. It's coming up to our favorite time of year, audit season. And in front of you, you have O'Connor Davies engagement letter. The total estimated cost, barring anything else that might come up, is $113,450, and that's broken down between the town audit side is $57,800, and the Board of Ed technically has two types of audit. It has the regular one like us, and that's $46,800, and they have what's called their ESF, which is the educational financial system that they do their full reporting on, the annual reporting, and that's $8,850. So this is not approved by this board, but it's for you to see that this is what we're going through before we hand it to town council actually approves this.
How has the cost of audits evolved over the last? Are they going up, the price of?
They have gone up since I've started. It's gone up probably 10 plus since I started.
10,000, like 10%. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the typical audit engagement letter? I'm reading it through, and it's got it's so dense and so many disclaimers, and that's just your typical one.
It's municipality, and they're all pretty similar with that type of language. Yeah.
Wow, because there's a lot of exemptions and,
Yes.
and protections to them about stuff. So
Because they have certain
Relying on your
levels, they have
information.
thresholds. So, and they're relying on us to give it to them, but they've thresholds. So if something happens below that threshold, that's not something they're auditing per se. They're not going into the 20,000, but if something comes up, if they found it in their selection, that's one thing, but they have a threshold that they look at.
Okay.
Clearly, they had some attorneys write this.
16 pages.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't focused on this kind of detail before. So the Board of Ed allocation, will that be allocated to their budget?
They pay their portion. We just get paid. We just
Okay,
get billed
so
for our
it is-
57. They get billed their
So
portion.
those fees come out of their budget. Okay,
Comes directly
great.
from them.
Great. Okay. I don't have any other questions. Do you have any other
The
questions?
town council will approve it, and obviously the audit committee will be involved as well. They'll be
Yeah,
aware
the
of it.
audit,
They
excuse me.
selected.
They, we're under contract with them. We went out to bid.
Yep.
And as you recall, we only got 2 bids as it was. A lot of towns unfortunately aren't getting any other than the incumbent, so.
All right.
Good
Thank
field
you.
to go into if
That's
you
it.
want a job.
Thanks, Ann.
Great. Moving on to AEDs, Captain Franga.
Good morning.
Morning, Jim.
We are looking to purchase replacement AEDs from Stryker. Stryker is the vendor we typically get them from. The AEDs last about 7 to 8 years before they need replacement. And excuse me, this brand that we buy is the one built for emergency service responders. They're heavier duty. They take a beating. And this vendor, Stryker, gives us a credit for giving them our expired AEDs. So it works out to where we get some money back for the purchase.
What do they do with expired? What expires? Is this the battery?
The batteries do go bad, but I think it's just a matter of them guaranteeing the electronics that they'll work the way they're supposed to. And then I'm not sure what they do with how they recycle them.
Joe, are these the same? I see John in the audience, so it's a good timing. Are these the same ones that we get for the Parks Department as well? Or are they different because they're, okay, same vendor?
We haven't decided on the vendor yet.
Okay. I just wonder if
Be
there's,
one,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm wondering if there's some benefit in group purchasing
Hmm.
and trying to negotiate a better trend. Because I know we have to do that for the town and they're not inexpensive.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Ours could be a little bit different since ours sit in a cabinet where theirs have to be mobile in the
Yep.
vehicle. So
Yep.
not exactly sure. I know Stryker is one of the big
Yep.
companies.
It's a huge medical services, medical device company. So I just, it'd be interesting, maybe next time you guys are both looking to purchase, because I know you're looking for a new one. Did we just approve?
Just approve the
We
money.
just
yes.
approved them. I can't remember who we got them through. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
we're really, well, the first ones came through Norwalk Hospital, the ones
Right.
we're replacing.
Right.
So we haven't got to the point where we're looking for competitive bids and what would be best for us yet.
Okay. Well, just if you could
We're
talk.
replacing the ones we got from Norwalk, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, but do we know what brand we're replacing with?
No, we haven't decided yet. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
This depletes money we have in an older budget line. So we're going to be purchasing more after July 1. So yeah. We'll
Okay.
see what works. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Buying power is always helpful. So.
But it's
okay.
also, I mean, just then they operate the same way too.
Right.
Like,
Everybody knows how
right,
to.
It's just one way to do it.
Yeah, they're very
I don't
user
know how different
friendly.
they are
I
versus the
don't either.
brands, so.
The ones in the parks are like, they have those audible instructions are so clear, so anybody can. do
Yeah.
it. And I don't know how
Yeah, they're very similar. It tells you exactly what to do. Apply the pads, hit the button, stand back, wait, tells you to do CPR and all that, constantly analyzing. So
At a
they're very
very,
user friendly.
at a very stressful time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Voice prompts work very well.
Yeah. Joe, how many of these does every patrol car have these?
So all the main patrol cars have them. So we have about 9, and then we're going to add more so that all the side job cars, we have enough for the side job cars also. But typically, since we don't, what happens now is the officers will grab one for a side job because there's not always all of them being occupied on the shifts.
Right.
We don't always have 8 or 9 people on the road. But this way we have enough in the, if one goes down, because once one is used, it's out of service for a little bit till that data is downloaded because the hospital usually looks at it or the officers need it. So this way we have enough in circulation. So there's never not one on the road with an officer.
You guys are always the very first person to a scene like that. I mean, you even beat the ambulance there
Many times,
many
yeah.
times. So
yeah.
how frequently have you had to use these? Is it in the field? I mean, just like on an annual basis. Just
Unlike the
just
parks.
curious. Yeah.
Ours, haven't been used
Yeah.
that I know of.
That's a great question. Sorry.
I mean,
I was
curious.
making sure I covered all my bases
No,
for
that's fine.
questions.
That's fine.
And what
That's
an
fine.
obvious
That's
one to miss, right? I honestly
Sorry.
thought you were going to stump me, Amy, but what an obvious one to miss.
All right.
Sorry, Steve. Yeah, at least a couple times a year for
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
That they are used.
Well, that's once a year, once a 5 years. If you save somebody's life, I mean, come on. That's
But
great.
they're in many
Great to have.
places, right? Like Y
Yeah.
has them. I'm assuming
Churches have them.
yeah, exactly. Ambulances have, I'm assuming the rigs have them, right? Yeah.
And so I see you're having, this is for 2. So every year will we see 2? Or like, what is the cycle of like the replacement and refurbishment?
So as far as replacement goes, the next one wouldn't be for a few more years, actually. So the next purchase will be for additional units to put in the side job cars, which would be after July 1's budget line. And then we should be, again, barring an issue where one breaks down or something happens, we should be good for a few years before we need to replace what we currently have.
Okay, so we should see something in next year's budget for this.
There is a line already in the budget that was just approved, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. All right,
All right. All good.
any other questions? If not, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the New Canaan Police Department to purchase 2 new AEDs from Stryker in the amount of $5,889.96.
So moved.
It's unanimous. Okay, Chris.
You get invited to the class. You don't learn how to use them. That's kind of fun.
I know.
Good morning.
Morning.
So the IT department is looking for the approval of $36,870. It is to finish the desktop replacements. We finally got all the other ones in and now we'll do the outer buildings. And again, they came in the lowest bid, or the lowest price. So we'd like the permission to go finish it up. And we're trying to, as we spoke the other night in the Board of Finance, get all of our hardware in before we have to pay anything extra. And we're really close. So we should be good.
Good. We're ahead of it.
So the price per desktop is $810. Is what it is?
Any questions?
We've talked about this before, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Supposed to be coming back.
If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Information Technology Department to enter into a contract with SHI in the amount of $36,870 for the purchase of 4510 ZIG. Is that it?
That's it.
Hero clients.
So moved.
Okay. It's
Names
unanimous.
up. I just use the product.
I literally, every time I get a PO from the tech department, I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm gonna start making you come and explain it all to me when you bring a PO.
I would
'cause
love to.
I just don't know.
I get the name screwed up all the time myself too. So
All right,
thank you.
thank you. All right, open gov, Chris.
So this is the approval so that we can get the PO started for OpenGov, the online permitting program. We're due, it's a 1-year contract and we're due to start this month. So we need to get the PO process and that's why we're here for the approval.
And we've talked about this one too, but this is going to further streamline what we're doing. Yeah.
Great job. Yeah. Nothing but there's no complaints. I mean, it's that smooth for people to use it, even administratively. So it's a very good product.
That's great. Okay.
All right.
All right, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Information Technology Department to renew a 1-year contract with OpenGov in the amount of $35,000. Oh, before we approve it, $35,077.35. What is the percentage increase year over year on the OpenGov contract?
This year it was 5,000. Yes.
So it's 35 on 35 is, what is, my math isn't getting worse.
I hope this isn't one of those things where they hook you. in
Yeah,
and,
15%. So,
Haven't done that. But that is right now the way things are going in this software industry, which is when you go cloud, you have to, because if we were to say no, what do we do then? Right?
Yeah.
Start all over.
wow, so it's
But they've-
15%. Wow.
Yeah, except, I agree, it's a lot, except
Yeah.
this software
Yeah, it
saves us so
money.
much money on
does.
people
It
and
does.
also provides great service for the town. So, you know,
Right.
sometimes you get hit with software and you're going, what?
No, no,
This-
no,
yeah,
I agree.
Money
I
on
just
the
want to know what kind of leverage we have going forward.
none.
Because
Do-
I
and
don't
it-
see 15 every year.
Deanna made a great point when we were looking at the contract. So we're going to collectively find out all the customers in Connecticut and reach out and see what we can do with that way going forward as well, because they're picking up more and more.
Do they have a competitor or
They
are
have many, but nothing that was this simple and this easy out of
Okay.
the box. I mean, they really did the transformation from what we had to what they put in.
Yeah.
They did it in months.
It is good
Yeah.
value, so it's
Mhm.
just, they know they
Yeah, that's
provide a
okay.
good deal. They have a lot of,
leverage?
yes, they do. All right.
Motion on the floor,
If
right?
yes, so
I'll move it.
And now second.
thank you. It's unanimous. All right. And request for travel.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
You going someplace sunny? Nice,
What?
sunny and nice, request for travel. Nice.
Yes, it does.
not
So
even
our
brain.
policy is that if we have overnight travel for any of our conferences, it needs to come in front of this
Yep.
board. So my comptroller in the finance office, we tried to send at least one person to the national GFOA. This is the national GFOA in DC, the end of June, beginning of July, that I'm looking to send her on there. Just a side note, Lunda, who used to be here, is their president-elect right now of the national GFOA. So this will be his first conference in DC that he's managing. So for the finance office, I'm looking to send Diane to that. And then for me, I'm looking down the road, but it won't be overnight, it's local ones. So I'm trying to balance that with one person going to the away one and then going to the local ones that have more of an impact for us for Connecticut. So I'm looking for approval to see if Diane can go on this.
Any questions?
Seems
All right,
reasonable.
if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Finance Department for travel expenses related to the GFOA conference in Washington DC on June 29th to July 2nd, 2025 for Diane Wilson in the estimated amount of $1,926. It'll be nice and hot down there.
Oof.
I'm like, whoa. I always do that.
So moved.
It's unanimous. Okay,
Second.
Cheryl.
Oh, you're the next one. But
Oh,
you can sit
I'm sorry.
here.
I'm reading wrong today.
You can sit here. Okay, so I would like to present Tim Blakeman. He is going to come on as the Assistant Residential Building Inspector. This will be a part-time position to start. He is taking his RBI license in May, and we are going to bring him in 20 to 25 hours a week, see how that works, and if they need it, then we will increase it. We had 22 applicants. As you can see from Tim's application, he has been a general contractor for 30 years. He has amazing references. He's passed his background, and I think will be a great asset to the building department.
Can you run, is this filling an open place? Is this new position? Just remind me.
Since Brian retired and we promoted Scott, this will be replacing Scott's position, but we're
Okay.
going to start part-time.
Got it. And what's the price point? I mean, what do we pay? How much do we have allocated for the part-time?
Paying,
Position.
let's see, I'm going to give you the exact 40 an hour.
Okay.
Which is the going price at this point. So,
And so part-time, this is not a benefits position at this point?
correct, no benefits.
Do we anticipate this would be a full-time position after
Scott
licensing? or
wants
just-
to kind of get the sense of what's going on in the office, but he does feel as the spring and summer approaches, he thinks that we will need full-time, but he's gonna see how it works out.
But I could see that being a little tricky. It'd be full-time during building periods and then,
Although we started with Scott part-time and he ended up very quickly to full-time. Plus the guy needs to get his license. So once he gets his license and we kind of see how he acclimates, we probably will be back to full-time, but right now we're going to start part-time.
okay, thank you.
But it is really important to keep those permits and everything moving because, I mean, obviously, you know,
Exactly.
that's a big part of taxpayers that come in and they want to get a project going. You want to make sure that everything goes smoothly. And I know, you know, with Brian gone, it's,
Right.
we've got to make sure
Although,
we're
I
on top
mean,
of that.
The
with
open
the-
gov is
to be
huge.
fair, things are moving very well right now.
Okay,
So
good.
there's not a backlog.
No
It's
backlog,
just,
right.
it's just,
Open Gov
It's
has
an
been a
anticipatory.
huge
Didn't you
asset
say
for
it went
us.
from like
Yes.
6 weeks to 1?
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I
okay.
wouldn't
So-
want people to think
All
that
right,
there's
good.
a backlog.
Good.
It's,
Okay.
they are moving. It's just, we want to anticipate during the season.
And
that
so
it's-
much is done online now, which is great. So
Yeah, so basically what we're doing is we're just replacing folks that we've had in those positions already. So,
Right.
It's just attrition.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, okay.
Right.
Good.
Okay. There are no further questions. If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Human Resources Director to remove, sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Director, from the Human Resources Director to hire Tim Blakeman as the Assistant Residential Building Inspector.
So moved.
Second, oh, sorry.
It's unanimous.
okay, Chris is back.
All right, now, Chris. All right.
Next one is to move Matt Boulon off of probation. He has acclimated very well into the IT department. Staff enjoy working with him. He has got a lot of energy and he is a great asset to the team. Chris, I don't know if there's anything.
But other than say thank you for letting us pick up the the new guy. He's taken a lot of work off of the day-to-day morning, especially morning operations and issues. And he's working out really well. He's a sponge, so you just gotta let him make his little mistakes. But he's still young, but it's fun. He's learning a lot. But thank you.
No.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to him and really nice guy, very competent.
Okay. If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Human Resources Director to remove Matt Boulan from probationary status.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. All right, daycare
welcome.
center, Cheryl and Ann.
So last week, Deanna, myself, Tucker, Ann, and Marcy went to visit the daycare. And if you have not been there, I would strongly encourage you to do it. They currently run preschool for 3 to 5-year-olds. They have an after-school program and a summer program. Very well managed, very well run. The town has funded them for as long as I've been here. And we just thought it would be interesting to go over, understand it a little better. So I am here today asking for approval for the $32,000, which the town gives them to fund their program.
Has that number stayed constant for how long?
I believe since under Rob Malazzi, I believe
geez.
it's been the same. And they haven't asked for an increase. They've done
They
very
have a
well.
lot of private pay, so
Yes.
like, I think that
Mhm.
is probably the difference. I get a form every quarter, I think,
Correct.
to sign on kids that need assistance.
Mhm.
And it's hard for them to fill those slots. So, but they are full and it's a lot of private pay.
Okay.
So
Great.
I would argue that we shouldn't be if it's.
Oh, no,
private.
no,
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yep.
I'm just curious.
So what on your field trip? Was there anything interesting that you saw?
Oh my gosh, it was, yeah, I don't.
Well, they serve 3 meals a day to each of the families. It was a pretty amazing
Yeah, it was a beautiful place
program.
for kids. Yeah, beautiful place. See how they converted gymnasium from that was the old middle school?
Yeah.
They converted the gymnasium of the old middle school into like 4 classrooms or something and a big central area with these big windows and high ceilings. So it feels very,
Happy place.
yeah, big and open. And then, I have to tell you, I like, one thing I really like is because it's connected to Schoolhouse, they do some partnering with Schoolhouse with,
Intergenerational.
yeah, I think is
That's great.
super, it's great for both sides. So, I really love to see that. Right.
I know a lot of kids use that.
Yeah, and it's nice because you see the bus dropping off all those kids to
yeah.
after school and they're there till 5:30 every night. I mean, they open at like 7:30 to 5:30
Yeah.
every night.
Mhm.
And those 2 ladies have more energy than I ever will have, ever.
And they're always looking for readers. So if anybody's interested in reading, let us know and we'll let Barb know.
Okay, you can sign me out for that. I
Okay,
do it
good.
at the public school, so I
Good.
love doing that.
And we, the relationship, I remember a couple years ago, we had to do some work, infrastructure work.
Mhm.
I think it was a canopy and stuff like that,
Mhm.
because we maintain the
Yes,
shell,
yeah.
right? Like we do with many
Mhm.
organizations, that we kind of maintain the infrastructure and the shell, and they do any build out in
Right.
terms of programmatic stuff.
So this money is actually in addition to all the infrastructure work we do. So,
It's just grant, operating grant. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's filling a need, and we've talked about this all the time.
Yeah.
Daycare is big. I mean,
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
Yeah.
So, all right.
All right, so if I could get a motion to approve a request for the purchase of a purchase order in the amount of $32,000 related to the annual grant for Daycare Center of New Canaan.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. All right, interim health director.
Okay, so Jen Eilson has resigned. So by state statute, we have to put somebody into that position. We spoke with the commissioner yesterday. I would like to recommend that we put Gino Gagnon, who is our registered sanitarian, in. We can only put him in for 30 days. We posted the position yesterday. If we go past 30 days, then we will have to work out an agreement with Darien, which we already have in emergency situations or when our director of health would go away. So I spoke with her yesterday. She is still willing to help Gino and help the town, but this will be just for 1 month.
I would think it would take more than a month to find a replacement, right? So we'll be tapping the
think so.
Jerry Ann relationship.
That was like a win,
Signing
like
that.
signing that earlier
Good
this
timing, yeah.
year. I was like, wow, I didn't realize we were gonna need this so desperately, so quickly, but yeah. And she's been really great.
Mindy's been great, and I spoke to her a couple times yesterday, and she's been very helpful to the staff. Her and Gino have a good relationship, so we are in good hands.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to recognize what Jen did while she was here and got us through COVID, and
Mhm.
she was very well respected in town. So thank you to her for getting us through all that, and good luck in the future.
Okay. All right, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Human Resources Director to appoint Gino Gagnon as interim health director.
So moved.
It's unanimous. Okay, and then tax collector.
And so we, as you remember, appointed Sebi to take over both the tax assessor and tax collector's office, but the Board of Selectmen does need to appoint an interim tax collector. So we are asking that we put Sebi in as the interim tax collector.
We need the actual position in place. Yep.
Sure, you're really busy moving all this stuff.
I
around.
just.
Should he be permanent with, he's gonna be functioning the permit tax?
No, it will be as an interim, and we do have an individual in the tax office who is going through the certifications.
Okay, so it's a certification.
It's
issue. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Human Resources Director to appoint Sebastian Calderella as acting tax collector.
So moved.
It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, and then EAP.
Okay, so we have an EAP program with KGA. We are lucky enough,
Acronyms you just.
Employee Assistance Program. And the agency that we use is KGA. Actually, I don't even know what that stands for. And they have worked with us. This will be our third year. In speaking with them, they have agreed to keep their price the same as last year. So just as information, this is for full-time and part-time employees. We have 250 covered because our volunteer firemen and EMS are covered under this program. We pay $8,400. It's for mental, emotional health, parenting, elder care, legal, financial, work, home, and nutrition. Each employee is eligible for 3 sessions for free. And then they have a la carte services if there's crisis management, if there's a substance abuse referral or attendance at a health fair, that it would be a higher amount. Just so you get an idea of the staff usage, from 1/24 to 12/24, we had 30 visits compared to 15 visits the year before. 17 have gone on and used the platform, which is educational material management for our managers to work with them. And they have done 41 events for us. And the total utilization for our staff is 36%, and the going rate for an EAP program is 21. So we are well above that. So it's great to see that our staff are using this program.
So we get all that for $8,400?
Correct. Right. And it's unlimited for the 8,400, how many staff or managers will utilize that program. So.
And people are reasonably well aware of it. I mean, are we using it more because people are more aware of it?
Yes, we're trying to do more education around it and let staff know. In fact, in June, we have them coming back again to do a presentation to both our managers and our staff.
All within the 8,400.
Exactly.
It's an amazing value. I mean,
Okay, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Human Resources Director for the annual renewal of a contract with KGA in the amount of $8,400 for employee assistant program services.
so moved.
Second, it's unanimous. Okay, Ryan, thank you. All right, good luck. Thank you.
Good morning.
Sorry, John, I didn't have you on mine, so.
It's all right.
I would've
Just
said-
here to support Ryan. He's got this.
They're a good team. They're an excellent team.
Thank you. So on behalf of the New Canaan Parks Department, I am here today seeking approval to purchase 4 Murdoch bottle fillers from Equiparts Corp. These bottle fillers are planned to be installed at the following locations: Mead Park Playground and Little League Walkway, Irwin Park Upper Trail Entrance, the New Canaan High School track, and the Waveney Fitness Area and Playground site. In the summer of 2023, we purchased 4 of the same exact bottle fillers, and we anticipate installing more in the future. Out of the 4 units, 2 will be replacements and 2 will be new installs. The new installs will be located within the high school track and the Waveney Fitness Area playground. And then the 2 replacements include swapping out the existing fountains at the Mead Park Playground and Little League Walkway in the upper trail entrance at Irwin Park. Those 2 are roughly 10 to 15 years old.
That old?
Mhm.
Time flies.
And then the unit at Irwin Park will have a pet bowl feature on it. So similar to the one that's installed at the dog park now. And the total amount for this purchase is $13,942, and the money is available and in line with our current budget.
Brian, do you have to run a water line for between the new locations?
Right, so for the track and for the playground, we will.
So that cost isn't in here.
It's not in here, so the install is not included in this purchase here. This is just to purchase the 4 units.
How much do we think it's gonna cost
There
to
you go.
do the water line
Um,
for those 2?
You're getting close to $10,000 when you have to do a water tap. So the one at the high school will actually have to do a water tap.
So
The
that'll be 10,000 for that location in addition to what we're paying for the water.
pretty
filler.
close.
Okay.
We don't have an exact quote yet, or exact price. That's basically in this year's budget. The one for the playground will probably bring the water off the bathroom building that's there.
Okay,
So there'll be some work to get it there, but it won't be a water tap.
So where's the money allocated for the tap? I mean, that's in the budget?
That's in the budget.
Okay.
Yeah, it's over a few years. We've had water fountains in there. And so we're doing well. We're moving along. The jug fillers, as they call them, are a great hit because most people are carrying a water bottle of some sort instead of a drinking bubbler fountain that a lot of people don't even want to use.
maybe we'll get rid of
So-
all those throwaway plastic bottles that everybody does in the fields. Sweet.
That would be good.
Mhm.
So let me ask you just about the how long do we think these are gonna last? And then just in terms of how these are constructed, because I know plumbing fixtures used to be all like metal and would last forever, like brass on the inside, and now they're plastic and they break. So do we have, is there an estimated useful life on these, and will they look good? And because I've seen water
They're gonna
fountains
look
like
great.
hell.
Because we got away from paint. These are stainless steel.
It's still good.
so
And
silver
they-
in color.
Yep, there are some plastic parts in there. You can't get away from
Yeah,
that.
anymore,
But
it's hard.
overall, these are really, really nicely constructed.
Okay.
I think, well, minimum of 20 years.
No.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can replace the valve,
Mhm.
But Murdoch has been around for many, many years. Hopefully, they're not going anywhere. So
And no sensors or electronics or batteries, manual, such as it works,
Okay, so you'll push a button. Oh, okay, great.
because that stuff breaks.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah,
breaks.
any of us who've been at the airport and they're like,
Yeah.
is it gonna fill or not?
Cool.
Yeah, and the dog bowls are great. I mean, people love those. So that's a big plus. So
Right,
Thank you
yeah,
for
so
adding
when I actually spoke to a plumber and he said these will last almost a lifetime is what he basically quoted. And they're stainless steel again, so that's durable, rust resistant. So they do have a filter inside of them, which is something that you can change on a yearly basis. Of course, it's city water, so it's not necessary, but it's something
Actually
we
not city
we will
water, it's
consider.
Aquarian water.
Right.
We all are clear.
It's not well.
It's not well water.
I can't believe I'm gonna ask this question. Does it make sense for any of the other ones to have that dog feature as opposed to just the one at Irwin? And I'm just throwing that, I don't know if it's how much more money it is, but I'm just throwing that out.
The only
Not that I'm
issue
over promoting dogs everywhere, I'm not,
thing is the ADA compliance as far, because the dog bowl filler is on one side and then the jug filler itself is on the other side. So you need about 5 feet plus on each side to be ADA compliant. So
changes
with
the
that, it
installation.
changes the installation and the
That's not-
cost of the
that's
pad
not-
itself.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Parks and Recreation Department to enter into a contract with Aquaparks Corp. In the amount of $13,942 for the purchase of 4 water fountain bottle fillers that will be installed at Mead Park, Irwin Park, New Canaan High School Track, and Waveney Playground.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.
One thing
Thank
we
you.
didn't ask though, guys, is how long it's gonna take us to get the water run and all that stuff. I mean, how far out are we on these?
That's
things?
one reason why we're ordering the water fountains now, even
I
though,
expect to see them operational, I guess. It's the,
well, the first two, hopefully by the end of the summer. The first two that are replacements. The other two, well, the playground will depend on the playground. And there's a lot that goes into actually tapping into Aquarian's water line. We have to have a meter installed, et cetera. So yeah, that one, I
Contractor to do that work.
definitely, with a couple different contractors. You have to have somebody to do the excavation part of it and set it up, and then Aquarian has to do that. And then there's only so many companies that do the live water tap into the main. So
at the beginning of the project.
Are the replacement ones functioning now? Or are they not function?
They are. We recently turned on the water up at Irwin because residents were requesting it. So one of the plastic hoses froze up on us. So it was causing a little issues over the last week since we've turned it on. But other than that, they're still functioning. So
Where is the one up at Irwin?
It's up, if you go, it's up towards the house, between the house and
Chorus Pavilion, if you were walking out that
Yep,
way from
yep,
the
yep,
parking
yep, that
lot, it's
little
right there.
path that
Yep.
goes that way. Okay. Never noticed
It's bright red.
I'm obviously a very determined walker, I guess.
People would not liking how it looks. So this will be very, it'll fit in better.
Even though it's stainless steel and you think of stainless steel being shiny, it will blend in better than the red paint. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, great. All right. Thank you. All right, Joe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so I have 3 items for the police department. I'll start with the first one being the Department of Public Works is requesting authorization to enter into a contract with Summer Rain to design and install an irrigation system for the police station. This will cover the planting beds, the planters, the lawn, the trees, the shrubs. So we're moving right along at the police station. The trees have been tagged at the nursery and will be installed in early May, followed by the balance of the plantings. So we'll have a nice, spring pop as we wrap up the police station.
Is it Beautification League doing the planting? I know they
So
had
the-
harvested some plants there.
Beautification League, we met with the Beautification League and we reviewed all the base contract plantings and made some improvements. They made some improvements to the plan. And they will also plant the new planters in front of the entrance of the PD and add some more flowers along the front facade. So we've been working with them and they've been working with the committee. So Summer Rain has worked on several projects for the town. They also assist the Parks Department with servicing and repairs, although they do most of the work in-house. The Parks Department does that with their in-house staff. The funds are available in the police department soft cost budget. Any questions?
Small question. With our irrigation systems, like, when you have to blow them out and then open them up, is that outsourced or does the park department do that?
Yes, I knew it. I knew it.
Well, there you go.
Joe asked. We take care of that in-house. We winterize and do the spring startups.
Great.
It's not a problem.
And this is really, Joe, in the front of the building. There's nothing in the rear of the building, right?
There's nothing really in the rear, but the front, and there's a little along the side. And we're actually, while we're there, we're gonna take care and rough in across to the ambulance corps for those plantings there in the front, because that doesn't have its own system.
Yeah, I noticed they've already got some seed and hay down, so it's well on its way. So it's good.
Yeah.
It'll be green soon.
Yes.
It'll look great.
Okay.
All right.
Other questions?
South Avenue's looking good.
Yeah. Could I get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Summer Rain Sprinkler Systems Installation, Inc. in the amount of $665 plus a contingency of $2,000 for a total project cost of $23,665. The project entails the design, installation of irrigation systems for the police department plantings.
So moved.
It's a lot of Ps. It's unanimous. Okay.
All right, so the next item is, so we need to, for the police department over at 39 Locust, we need to remove the generator. So we're requesting authorization to enter into a contract with Northeast Generator to uninstall the automatic transfer switch and the docking station at the temporary police station. So that entails basically removing it from the generator all the way into the gear. So we need the electrician that's familiar with the site. They installed it, so they'll be the best person to uninstall it. And the actual generator is the town-owned generator. That's the mobile generator that we've been utilizing for the temporary police station. So that'll go back to the wastewater treatment facility and just be on standby should it be needed.
So we won't have to do emergency POs for generators at the wastewater treatment plant now,
Right.
hopefully.
You still need to repair the base generator, but you won't need to have a temporary generator there should anything happen.
It's $24,000 just to uninstall.
Yeah, it's to uninstall. There's actually conduits that are installed on the building.
Mhm.
There's a shutdown that's required to get into the gear to uninstall it. So
This sounds silly, but are they actually taking the conduit out, or are they leaving the conduit with the building so another tenant could?
the landlord does not want it. We just mounted it in a temporary fashion.
Okay,
So
so
there's
we
a
have to take it
lift,
out.
there's a lift included in this cost to remove it and then just to do any work that they need to
I know, it is
basically
crazy.
undo what we did to install it.
How long is it going to take them to do this kind of work? I mean, it's
$24,000.
It's a week
going to take a week to uninstall it?
with two guys, yeah. And then they need to coordinate basically with the utility company to shut it down as well. So there's a little
Do
bit
you
of
know what it costs to put it
coordination
in?
work. I want to say 120,000.
So the
Let me look it
equipment- the
up. I can
equipment,
send
Joe,
it, I can send it over to you.
the conduit and the equipment will be able to reuse it, because we own that stuff, right? I mean, if we. do-
Correct. So we own that, will own the feeders. We own the docking station, which we will reuse. We've rented, even though that we attempted to buy a switch. If you remember, we attempted to buy a switch. We
Got
did it
one
a year in
coming.
advance and it was stuck in Mexico when we were trying to move. So we had to rent it. So
So there's hardware that we'll own and as part of this.
yes.
But you're right. It seems like a lot of money to literally unplug something.
I guess a little more than just unplugging.
Yeah.
You have to go inside you have to go inside the switch gear and basically disassemble the switch gear and then put it back together again.
Very
Okay, I'm gonna change the language on this briefly and just call it, instead of relocation, I'm gonna use uninstall. If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Northeast Generator in the amount of $23,980 for the uninstall of the emergency generator. You want me to call it removal instead?
Is uninstalled.
I don't-
proper English?
I don't know, is that?
it's close enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Of the emergency generator from temporary police headquarters to the new building.
So moved.
We're not even moving it to the new building,
No,
to the transfer
transfer
station. Okay, thank you. So we had a motion and a second, it's unanimous. Thank you. All right,
Next item is the technology purchases. So the Department of Public Works is requesting authorization to enter into a contract with CDWG to provide monitors, smart TVs, brackets, cables, cameras, et cetera, for the police department. And all these items will be purchased under the Sourcewell contract. For this purchase, we are working with the PD's IT department to purchase all the AV for the building directly. So we're basically, we're not hiring a vendor to do it. We're just gonna purchase everything directly, so we don't have to pay any additional markups on it. So this includes all the wall mounted monitors, TVs. There's about 26 in total. That covers like training rooms, meeting rooms, conference rooms, dispatch, roll call, break rooms, detective bureaus, offices, and a couple other miscellaneous ones. So, and the funds are available in the police department soft cost technology budget. And we actually spent a little less money in the technology budget because we had 3 video walls. If you remember, we had 3 video walls, and the PD decided to go with a simpler version for their conference rooms. So their conference room and their training room will just have a very large TV in the front, and it will be a Zoom ready room. So we're working with the town IT, the PD's IT to just kind of do that all in-house. So we're saving some money.
Can you remind me with the gym, the monitors, and that was that was supposed to be done separately, right? Like the TV fit outs and stuff for the gym, that was going to be something that we weren't necessarily funding.
But well, you
That we were
you
just
guys
saying there would
funded
be kind of a share.
you ended up funding the gym.
Did we do all the videos and stuff like that? I thought we maybe pulled that back.
2 TVs that will be purchased for the gym in this package.
All right.
Oh, it's in this package.
TVs themselves. I mean, they're about $450 each.
I couldn't remember where we ended up with that kind of cost share, and I think we just decided to fund it all. Okay.
So Joe, this is the hardware, obviously the brackets and everything are included and everything is set up. So you just basically are going to plug these things in, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
the brackets, this includes the purchasing of the brackets as well.
Okay.
But all the back boxes and all the
already in there.
Power, the cable, the Cat 5 cables are all there ready to go. And most of them will be like a smart TV technology. So you'll just be able to throw up a screen up to it. And IT department will work all those little details out.
Great. All right.
Good.
Thank you.
All right. If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with CDWG in the amount of $35,000 for the purchase of technology equipment for the new police department building.
Second.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay.
It really looks great over there. Really coming along.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
So this first item is for the installation of railing at the Playhouse. Per code, we need to put in some railing on the new pedestrian ramp that leads from the right side of the building to the platform, and then we're placing another small section on the other side. That'll hopefully help define the platform and the step, since we're still having issues with some residents not navigating from the platform down to the brick sidewalk. They're not able to understand the concrete to the brick, what have you. So we're having a couple of tripping incidences. So we feel that this will hopefully help address that. So 1 is by code that we need, and then 2, hopefully it'll address some of the falls or the trips and falls that we're having.
So Target, just so I understand, so the one that is the optional one we're putting in, so if you're coming from the street.
It's not optional. There's a small section that actually there is a little bit of a fall area. So
Where there's that little like curb and you step. So if you're coming off of Elm Street and you're walking up to the Playhouse, right? And the bricks kind of, it's kind of formed to kind of go up. And there's that little lip. Is that where you're putting?
on either side of that, yeah.
Right, okay.
That
Just
we
trying
get
to
to the
understand.
platform. It's
Yep.
it's considered a platform, so railing is not required, but we have a small fall area on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
So there's a discrepancy. We want to put railing there. And then on the other side where the ramp is, there is railing is required on that side, but it'll also, both sides will help address that transition downward from the platform onto the brick.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How long are the railings? I mean, you have 28 feet here, so is it?
Right, there's about a 4-foot section on the left-hand side, and the remainder is on the right-hand side.
Yeah, because the specs are here, but we don't really have is there a drawing of any kind, or?
So there'll be a shop drawing coming, but it's in essence, we're looking at matching what we did at Waveney House.
Okay.
So if you went to Waveney House to the western entrance, where the accessible entrance is for the western side, we have this railing there. So
Okay.
it's black with a little bit of brass highlighting with it. And the finials and the handrails will all be matched that look. We thought that was a very nice look. So we wanted to match that.
We're talking
look.
where the ramp is.
Where the ramp is on the, yeah, as you come into,
Railings on the one side and there's nothing on the other side, but the ramp has a railing on one side and there's just plantings on the other side, right?
are you talking to the Playhouse? Or are we talking to the Waveney House? Waveney House, if you're coming in from the western side, you get into the western porch area and there's ramps that lead up to that accessible doorway.
Railing on one
There's
side.
railing on both sides, comes up and around and over.
Building, and then there's the ramp.
Right.
And then there's railing that goes down both the up and down of the ramp. Right? Is that right? Okay.
So we'll be matching that railing. That,
Spent a lot of time over there recently, so that's the only reason I know that space. Otherwise, never noticed the red, water at Irwin,
did.
but I did notice the railing.
So Tiger, the idea then, and I guess we've talked about this because we've marked the step with yellow, we've painted it, we've put
Yeah.
striping out, we've done everything we can to say, hey, there's a step here, right? So this is now going to say you got to really notice this because there's railings on both sides now. The middle is going to be open still though, right? So
the
there's
middle,
still-
well, you have to, yes, the middle will be
step.
open.
But this is coming up the either. So have the trips that have happened, have they been coming that way or have they been coming the other way?
Then it's
Sidewalk way, I guess.
We're not getting a definitive answer, but it's heading towards the door or coming from the door out.
Yeah.
It's either falling down off where they don't see the transition from the concrete platform down to the brick, or coming from the brick to the concrete platform. They're not navigating that.
Have we marked, so when you walk out from the theater, have we marked the lip?
We have,
on the top?
we've
of
been
that?
avoiding to mark the top. We've been marking the front edge because that's what we were told that the majority of the problems were. So we marked the front edge with yellow tape. And we've been avoiding to mark the top only because it's a very nice platform. It's a beautiful structure. And we're hoping that this will then alleviate that. If not, then we'll have to take another measure at that point. And maybe we put in.
Step.
So I actually think it makes sense. It is easy to miss.
Yeah.
It is easy to miss.
So once we install it, then we'll see. And if the instances still continue, then we'll take additional measures at that point. Whether it'll be, I don't know, but a watch your step, or it'll be maybe a
Flashing light.
nosing on it to a different color nosing so people would understand. But right now, there is differentiation in color. There's a lot going on there that maybe you should. I think people are just so excited to either come to the building that they're not necessarily paying attention to the step. Is my feel, either that or they're on their phone and they're not paying attention
That's
to the tip.
probably what it
Right.
is. I've been in and out of that building 100 times. I have never had a problem with that
Right.
step, but I get it. Like some people do. So
Yeah.
we'll have to.
Because it slopes and all of a sudden there's a step. It's not
Yeah.
like it's not.
I don't
So
know.
I think
Okay.
that's good. I think
Well.
it's needed.
We need stickers in the pub on every
Yeah.
cup. Watch your step. I don't know.
So we requested quotes from two vendors. Stanford Forge was the low at $21,983.50. I added a slight contingency just because if there's something going on with trying to match the area itself for 10% of $2,200 for $24,183.50. And
What's
the
the other quote from? Because I don't see that.
Alden
quote.
Bailey, I'm sorry.
Oh,
There should have been,
I saw Alden's on there. I didn't see.
yeah, there should have been two
Okay.
in the package. There was
Okay.
not.
No, it might be. Hold on. Let me see, because I just see. Oh yeah, I do see Stanford Forge now. Sorry, it was a different page. Yep. Okay.
So the total for the project would be $24,183.50, and the funds are available in our capital accounts.
Tiger, and if I don't know if how soon you get the shop drawings, but it'd be nice to see that because we spent so much time and effort getting that building looking the way it looks, and now we're putting something visible up in front of it. I know you have great taste, so I'm not doubting that, but it's just a shame that we're going to put something up that is going to visually impact because it's going to be white. The bottom of it is kind of white, and you'll see the black railings for sure. So, which I guess is the point, but
Right, but we'll.
It
yeah,
looks
we'll-
pretty
we
neat
can-
and clean right now, but. now
Right,
we're-
the fire marshal has asked for it just to make sure that we're completely to code on it. So once we get the shop drawings, we can certainly come back and share them with you before,
appreciate
prior to installation. So if there's any comments, we can certainly address them at that time. We are cognizant of the fact that it's a beautiful building and I was there yesterday and it's gorgeous just looking at it. And we're very reluctant to put railing up, but by code, I need the railing. So
Understood. Had to say it. Okay.
All right. If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Stanford Forge in the amount of $21,983.50, plus a contingency of $2,200 for the total project cost of $24,183.50. The project entails the fabrication and installation of the Playhouse pedestrian ramp.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.
You could use planters there instead, could you?
We did.
we've been using the
Benches,
benches and the
planters.
planters to differentiate and to prevent the fall, but by code on that rail.
No,
we
I
need
understand the
that.
ones by.
Yeah, but we've had planters, we've tried just about every measure we can, besides having someone stand there all day saying, watch your step, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the benches I thought were a pretty nice solution, but I guess that didn't help. Yeah. Okay.
so this next item is for the intersection improvements at the intersection of Conrad Road and Whiffle Tree. So last year we put in, we striped it to turn into a three-way stop. That was after multiple discussions with the residents and the police commission. We turned it into a three-way stop with temporary striping to show everyone the delineation of where these where I'll call it a bump out, but it's basically the bringing the intersection in, nosing it down to make it a true three-way intersection and not allow you to cut the corners on the tangents. So in order to do so, we've got to install some drainage on each corner of each bump out or each area where we're necking down the intersection. We went out to bid for that. We received 5 separate bids. We did solicit, we advertised in the paper, and we solicited directly from 14 contractors. We got 5 bids back. Peter Lonnie Incorporated was the low bid at $78,887.50. I added a 10% contingency for $11,800 for a total of $90,687.50. And the funds are currently available in our capital accounts, which for this project
It is not a
itself.
10% contingency, just
I-
so you know.
What?
That's a 15% contingency.
Is it?
Yes, so maybe we can lower the contingency.
I had 10, maybe I messed up. So yeah, we can take it to 10. I was comfortable with 10. I
So
don't know
that's
if I did the
78
math.
So 7,800,
100 is fine.
78, I'll even give you 78,880.
If you'd like to, that's fine. Thank you.
So
Okay.
this will be a T intersection? that-
It's not a T intersection. Is basically a peace sign, if you will. It's kind of because it'll be the leg of Conrad coming down. You stop on the leg of Conrad before you proceed on Conrad to Gertie's.
Mhm.
So that would be your westbound leg, and then your 2 southern legs, or your 2 eastbound, east, southeast, and northeast from Whiffle Tree and from Conrad leading into the intersection will all have stop signs. They're all there now.
Yeah.
And the striping is there now. The adherence has been quite well from what we understand from the residents. There are a couple of ring cameras on the intersection itself, so they notify us if someone's not
So this will make people
stopping.
happy.
Let's hope that it will.
We can only hope.
Okay.
So basically, it'll take it from pavement down to grass. So we'll be putting the drainage in and then taking the pavement out and placing grass. So the intersection will now flow. And hopefully it'll give a little bit more frontage and a little bit more greenery in the area, and then help calm the traffic as well, since we'll be necking down the intersection. Right now, it's quite wide as you
So,
can roll
so
through.
that's the whole theory, that what you want to do is you want to make stuff narrower so people slow down and take their time, right? You
Natural
just-
town,
yeah.
traffic calming measure.
It seemed to help a lot over there. Obviously, full disclosure, I live over there, so it seems to help a lot. The other thing that has helped a lot is the traffic timing at Gertie's has definitely, the light up there has changed everything as far as the cut through. So a combination of everything that has taken place over the past couple of years has really improved it. So hopefully this will be the sort of the end of the discussion.
Good.
One question about the drainage of Tiger in the future, way down the road, because I know how sidewalks are looked at the moment. But if we've always talked about the sidewalks in that area, sort of teeing up to the Waveney entrance that's up there, and as we've done in the past. When we do the drainage and we put the work into that intersection, are we going to be cognizant of the fact that someday there could be sidewalk there? I mean, is that just so
Yeah,
just so we
the-
don't have to redo everything,
Right.
20 years from now?
The sidewalk, should it ever be installed, the proposed sidewalk, it was actually had a grass shelf associated with it. So there was about a 3-foot buffer from the edge of roadway. So, and we have enough right away in that area to, in essence, kind of move through that intersection quite well without affecting the drainage locations that we're utilizing.
Okay, good.
Any other questions? Good. All right. I did.
Okay.
I did.
I didn't have a chance to.
All
yet,
right,
so.
if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Peter Lonnie Inc. in the amount of $78,887.50 plus a contingency of $7,880 for a total project cost of $86,767.50. The project entails intersection improvements on Conrad Road.
So moved.
It's unanimous.
Tiger, any idea on timing of that too? Like all these.
This is going to be a summer project, waiting for school to end. So at that point, we'll do the Putnam Road sidewalks and then this area as well. So after the specifications read, basically after school. So between June and August, going to take care of this.
So Peter's got a lot of work downtown to finish too first.
Right now, yeah, the first bump out, the granite's in
Yeah,
this morning or yesterday, saw it this morning. So
Yeah, and they've the two, as promised, they're containing it to that one area at a time. So it's good.
trying our best. And I spoke to the officer that was there yesterday. Downtown there wasn't a lot of people in the downtown yet because of school break. And he said it was a perfect time to do it. So
Good.
All right. So this next one, I'm joined by our fire chief for this item. He's been asking for this for a little while, I'll say. So this is the reconstruction or repaving of the fire department parking lot, the one that's in the rear of the firehouse itself. We went out to bid. We publicly advertised and solicited directly from 7 separate contractors. We received 2 bids back. The low bid was from Burns Construction at $69,852.50. In this case, I added a 15% contingency. I'd like to keep it only because there's a lot of stuff going on in the back of that property for $10,500 for a total of $80,352.50. And we have the monies available in our parking lot capital accounts. We'll be working with the chief on his timing. Contractor's ready to start anytime and come in, but it is because it's a firehouse and it's active. There's a lot of logistical constraints in the area, and we've got to redo the sidewalk in that area. It's all broken and fractured from use. So that hampers the work a little bit. But if you have questions for the chief as far as his operations, that's why he's here. Other than that, we'll be working with him. And we told the specifications were 5 days, basically 1 week's worth of work, because we didn't want to have them turned out too long. So we said basically they've got 7 days to do the work, and we'll go from there.
Could you pull all the rigs out for those 7 days so you have access to them?
Yeah, it's only one fire truck that's down on the bottom and the utility, which is the pickup. The bigger issue is our parking. We're gonna personal vehicles will be in Locust lot. So same with the pickup truck. So we're gonna be taking up some spaces in Locust during the week. But the one fire truck either can go in Locust or we can move it down the highway, which is a ready reserve.
So I guess we should probably plan that for after the sidewalk sales too. Or before. Or if you're gonna get done really quickly.
Before.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Like it's still busy until July and like shopping parking. I'm super sensitive
Locust lot?
because they're gonna be taking a lot of spaces in Locust Lot. I would prefer not to take merchant parking or shopper parking
Mhm.
during busy activity times downtown. So just I'm super
That's fine.
sensitive to that. So just whatever you do, just plan it so that
So when are the PD moving back in?
June
June
3rd.
3rd.
Okay, because
Illustrious
then
date, by the way.
they're parking, like there's been
Oh,
another
Locust.
yeah, there's been parking over there, then
Mhm.
that won't be there. I mean,
But they're gonna have to put a big fire truck in.
No, but I mean.
Of a personal.
The personal vehicles, the
Where you
fire
have to
truck could
put-
go down the highway.
It's
okay.
It's warm out,
Just
so.
thinking you.
Really? It can't?
The one that's not that usually responds.
Don't use that one for response.
One would only go in service if something else is out because we have to equip it.
So maybe once they go
All
in the PD, maybe then it's just a wash.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll let you, yeah, so
Okay.
maybe you
Yeah,
can go
we
on the
can-
street. Maybe you can have personal vehicles on the street instead of in the park.
We can work through that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
given that concern, we can work through that. Mine was more just get in and get done.
Because that's a paid lot too, so it would be probably better if you guys can work out the street.
Okay.
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 Okay. And then I just had a question. Why do you think we only got 2 bids?
It was because of the 7-day constraint a little bit, and it's difficult because they've got to come in, take out the sidewalk, put the sidewalk in, and then work on the other side of the walk itself. They're kind of working their way. They're constrained in the lot.
It's a busy street too.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there for the work that had to be done, and the fact that we said I didn't want them to go in there, redo the sidewalk, wait 14 days for that sidewalk to cure, come back in and do the paving. I didn't want it to jam up the chief. So I said, we have to, 7 days, they're going to come in and have to plate it, do a couple of different things. And this contractor, Burns, had a novel idea on how to sequester that sidewalk and be able to do that work without affecting the fire department and give himself some additional little bit of work. So he's actually going to put a granite curb in on the inside edge. So he kind of holds that sidewalk in itself, places the sidewalk in, and then he can bridge that without any problem for his vehicles and then pave over the top of it. He can get himself in and out. So he came up with a novel idea of doing it, and that's at no cost to the town.
Okay.
So I said, have at it at that point. So that's.
I come up that way a lot, and that Locust is super congested right now. And I don't know if there's anything we can do to try and, because I can just see it can, construction vehicles and.
We can certainly wait till after, after
Yeah, that just,
July,
I
and
like
say,
it.
have at
It's
it after
really
July.
dicey over there. People driving really fast and it's super congested. So.
Let me talk to him and see what his feelings were on timing. I know he was looking at slotting it in now, but if I see what he can do in July or
Okay.
after July 21, after the sidewalk sale, then we can look at that. Again,
A total sidewalk repair, is it all the way up to like in front of the firehouse, or is it
in
just
front,
the,
it's just the concrete portion. There's a concrete portion between with the bricks end right at the wall,
Yep.
retaining wall.
Yep.
And then it starts again in front of the salon.
Yep.
So that area, it's about 80 feet.
how's the drainage behind the firehouse? Like, are you guys washing anything back there or anything, or is
Mhm.
there are two.
there is one drain there, right?
We have a curtain drain on the right outside on the edge of the firehouse, and then one
Has that been working?
farther
out
in the
there?
parking lot.
Right, then there's a catch basin
Yeah.
along the salon, along the building, and that catch basin is slated to be, have a new top and have it looked at for this construction.
Good.
As well, and then we're looking at the curtain drains to make sure that everything is copacetic there as well.
Good, all right.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
If not, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Burns Construction in the amount of $69,852.50 plus a contingency of $10,500 for a total cost of $80,352.50. The project entails the paving of the fire department lot.
So moved.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Joe.
All right, Irwin House.
Good morning.
So before we start, the Irwin House, the Audubon house fell down this morning. So,
It actually fell down.
no, no, with a machine, with a machine. So,
I couldn't watch the video.
Right, yeah,
Like,
don't-
I
don't.
was
It
in the
actually
middle
has
of a
noise
meeting. I can't watch
associated
the
with it.
video yet.
it has sound associated with it, so turn off your phone.
I literally was not gonna.
So Joe was working on that, so that came down this morning, and then that should be cleaned up in the next day or two.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
All right. So the Department of Public Works is requesting authorization to enter into a contract with Fuss and O'Neill for environmental services, the environmental services that are required for the demolition of Irwin House and the guest house. So Fuss and O'Neill will perform the pre-demolition hazardous material inspections and design services. They will inspect the building for asbestos, lead paint, PCBs, and mercury, and they create a bid document for us to remove them. They will also help put together once they finish putting together the bid specifications, they will assist with the bid process. They'll also put together the bid specifications for the removal of an underground storage tank that's there. They monitor the project in the next phase, which is included in this. They monitor the project, they visually inspect the areas, they oversee the containment area setups, they monitor the air, they clear the space at the end to make sure it's safe for demolition and it's properly disposed of. Lastly, they compile all the required reports, testing results, the disposal records, and they report to all the authorities having jurisdiction to properly close out the project. It's the EPA, DEEP, Health Department, and the Fire Marshal. So they kind of one-stop shopping with these guys.
So these guys develop the plan and then they also monitor it.
Correct.
So within this price point, they're on top of everything from soup to nuts, from what we have to do till when it's done and everything is disposed of correctly.
Cradle to
for this
grave,
price.
yep.
And we've been using that underground storage tank for oil has been used to heat that building. And so have we done any monitoring of that? Every time I see an underground oil tank, I start to twitch.
Yeah, I don't think that one's all that old.
Right.
So
Really? I mean, why would we have put something underground? We've known for years we shouldn't put those underground.
No, that came with the house.
Okay, so
yeah.
it should be pretty old.
Yeah.
I think it's been replaced. I think it was replaced like 20 years ago.
Why would we replace it back underground?
No, but
20 years
before we
ago.
buy it. Before we buy it.
20 years ago?
Like 20 years ago.
That's
It's my,
still like
it's my
within-
understanding.
I
That's a
mean,
lot.
I can tell you within what I used to do, you never put it back. 20 years ago is well within the range of time not to put it back underground. I literally.
What's the heat source for Gore's Pavilion?
Pavilion.
that would be-
What's the heat source for Gore's Pavilion?
It's either propane or oil.
Right, I'm unsure. I can let you know on
No,
that.
we got to make sure we have a heat source for it, right?
They're all standalone. So
Yeah.
Gore's is standalone, the garage is standalone, and the house is standalone.
Okay.
So the house has oil, it's an above ground tank outside. The garage has an above ground tank, and then the house is an underground one. But the three of them are standalone for themselves, so you could sever the three.
And so this is the beginning of the cost. Do we have, I mean, we've talked about it, but do we have a firm estimate in terms of, what's it gonna take?
This will determine what's it gonna
Yeah,
take.
yeah, I know. Well, it's like, I feel like once we start going on the
Yeah.
road, it's,
Yeah.
We're going down this road.
We have 400,000 in our budget. So, and we had an estimate of demo of 175. So another 50 something that we have today.
Yeah.
So that gets us to 225.
Yep.
So let's hope we don't have another, environmental issues beyond the 400 that we bid.
And we had monies in this year's budget. We had 150 in this year's budget, some of which we used for the envelope consultant,
Okay.
and we plan to use for some of that.
Oh,
for
okay. So
this.
that
No,
won't,
it's-
this doesn't eat into the 400 for
No,
next year.
And I think
Okay.
the net we had was like, that we didn't spend was something in that 115. Because I think we had 150 and then we used it for the consultant, but so there's money
So
there.
Tiger, that's a good question for Tiger. What is the net we haven't used thus far on the,
Approximately 115.
It is
I believe.
115.
I'll confirm that though. Right. And that was that's why we're able to bring this to you now,
Oh, okay,
because
perfect.
we would
Because
have to
it's not
wait.
after June. That's right. I needed till July 1 to be able.
We would have had to wait.
Perfect.
So
Okay,
we
so
can
we
get,
still have another 50 in here after the,
Yeah, so we're good.
Okay.
get you a full rendering of
Or
that
knock wood.
account.
I'm gonna
Come on.
knock wood on that. Anything
It
environmental, I
it
get a little
is,
twitchy.
has some thick walls from that building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the point is, once we vote this, it really feels as though I think we've socialized the fact pretty
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
that that's the plan. And,
I gave it to the Presbyterian Church last weekend. I gave it to the men's club last Friday.
well, I see, and Mike Dinan's here from the Canaanite, and
Yeah.
it's important that the town and residents, taxpayers know that
Mhm.
this is the plan. So,
Yeah.
I don't want anybody saying, oh, I was surprised that we took the
Yeah.
house down.
I would
By
be
the way,
think-
that was the plan when we bought it.
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
just kind of got stalled.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what I've said at all the presentations that I've made where I've socialized this is that this is not the original house
Mhm.
that was built in Irwin Park. This
Nope.
is a redesign, a rebuild of a house. I guess the original house matched the barn, not, so,
Right.
I mean, so I think. you
Well,
know,
and it's clear. I mean, we've all walked through it. We all know that from top to bottom, and we know how much work would be involved if we ever wanted to redo the inside of it. And, you know, we stared at a number of 1.3 million, thought
For
that
the
was just
outside.
for
for the
the
outside.
envelope, right? And it's pretty clear that this is the right decision. So
There's no compelling need for the space.
Well, there might be a compelling need for more space, but this building is not fit for purpose. So if eventually
It's a house.
it's, right now, it's gonna be open space, but
Right.
down the road, somebody can.
yeah, it doesn't
make an-
preclude someone from
Yes.
coming forward and
Yes.
you know, and putting together a logical
Right.
building in place of this. But
Yep.
you know, if you think about spending $4 or $5 million to put this back into shape,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. You could
No.
build a purpose-built building for that
Yep.
kind of money. So
Okay.
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 Good.
If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Fuss and O'Neill in the amount of $53,050 plus a contingency of $5,000 for a total cost of $58,050. The project entails the environmental services required to perform the demolition of Irwin House and the guest house.
so moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
All right. It's a long time coming.
Yeah. So I'm joined by Lou and Jimmy, Lou Boyce and Jimmy Peck from our highway department. They helped us kind of work through this proposal, as well as some other members from Park and Rec, and others in the beginning. So we met with the various vendors for vehicle location devices. These are basically, it's called a geotag. It's a small unit that would sit on all of our vehicles so that we would know where they are in space. We have a lot of vehicles that are stored, a lot of vehicles for seasonal use. And the thought is that if one of those went missing, we wouldn't necessarily know where it went. So this geotag will then help us locate it in space. God forbid someone wants to come and take it from us. We would have it. Plus, we can also then just locate it of a day when we want to know where something is, a piece of equipment. Not saying that we'll track it for errant use, but it can be utilized for that. It's mostly for, at present, for just knowing we have 200 plus plated vehicles.
Very expensive vehicles. 200 plus
Yes.
very expensive vehicles.
Yes. So we would like to know exactly where those are in space at any given
don't leave
moment
the
in
keys
time. So the only, so we went out to the three basic vendors, Samsara, Verizon, and T-Mobile, which does Geotab. Asked them for pricing for these vehicle locators, and they're all so close, and there's a lot of overlap, and they're very, very, very similar. Spent a lot of time talking to our compatriots at other municipalities and other contractors that utilize the services, and Samsara was their choice overall for this type of work. So we met with them. They came through with a price that is actually on a, they went 2 cents lower than the Sourcewell price. So there was, Sourcewell was $9.50 a month. They went to $9.48, so that they could be 50 cents below the next vendor at Verizon. So $9.48 per device per month comes out to $113.77 per device per year. We're looking at 200 of the units for $22,754. And then we were looking to take 3 of those and instead go to what's a larger scale unit, which will help us track our vehicles and actually track the usage of them. So we have 13 plow routes in town. So we have 13 large trucks. The thought is to place a unit on each one of our large trucks so we can know when the plow goes down, the plow goes up, the sander goes on, the sander turns off, and where it is. So if we get a call from a resident, or we have a problem with we can't raise someone on the radio, because we've had that in the past, we can't raise someone on the radio, we'll be able to find them in space based upon this unit. So we can answer questions then, and then we can actually transfer these units to other pieces of equipment that we have. So in the fall, we can put it on our VACOLs, and we can then track our VACOLs as we go through and do leaves, so that at that point in time, we can say, we were on your street at this time and that time, because we know that the VACOL was there and the VACOL was operating. We can also use it for our street sweeper, because for our MS4 permitting, we can put it on our street sweeper and know when the street sweeper is out sweeping the roads, because we have to sweep every road in town for our municipal separate storm sewer system permit for the DEP. And then we can also use it for our roadside mowing. We can put it on Parks tractors if they so choose, and they can track that use. So that's $3,049.80. That's basically $10 more a month for that type of service. And then we had the shipping and handling so the first year total was $26,640. It is a 3-year contract. However, they understand, and inside their contract, they work with municipalities all the time, that is subject to budgeting annually. And so the second year and third year obviously take off the shipping and handling costs, and we're at $25,803.80 for both of those years.
And just so, I mean, I initiated this, this expense. We are unusual. We're an outlier in not having our most expensive equipment monitored. It's, it's just, as a financial person, it's good financial management to understand your inventory and be able to track it. And so I was surprised we didn't do that in this town. And Darien, Ridgefield, like we are an outlier
Greenwich.
in not doing Greenwich. Everyone does this. It's just, it's prudent management of your inventory. And so
How much
Thank
is that call that we ordered?
$600,000.
Actor, $640,000.
We probably should know where that is.
Yeah.
So, completely get it for the big machines, right? Can completely get it. So we're gonna do 200 geotag licenses, and that's like for every lawnmower and stuff?
No, it's a
Just
plated.
anything with a license plate?
License.
Okay.
We won't get down to the zero turns and the push mowers and the chainsaws. No, you could, but why for $113 for a $350 chainsaw, it's not.
No,
worth it at
we
that
can
point.
Apple AirTag those or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but no, just the plated vehicles themselves.
Yeah, okay.
That was the thought, was just the plated vehicles at present.
Okay, so this will be an ongoing line item in our budget items going forward from the
That's correct.
DPW. Okay.
Yeah.
And internally, Tiger, how does that, you talk about managing this. I mean, that's another thing for you guys to look at and manage. I mean, who is Christy going to be the one that is looking at all this stuff? How does-
She's helps with our fleet. Yeah. So, well, the managers themselves, you'll have access for viewing, and you can access
Lou will have it
Yeah.
and Jimmy will have it.
just their devices. So anything that's highway related, anything that's parks related, recreation related.
So
land
each
use.
manager will have access.
Each manager would have it at that point in time, and then there'll be an overall parking manager themselves that would give access to and from. That would likely reside with me or for Selectman, what have you, at that point in time. But there, yes, you could then just look at yours, and then, yeah, you'd be tracking it of a nature. Like I said, we're not going to sit there and, say, oh, my trailer's here this day, my trailer's there. We'll be looking at it, and it really comes down to, if we have a problem, we'll know exactly where it is. The 13 definitely will be managed, because that's actually will be giving us feedback on production, and being able to, the highway dispatcher will be able to track the vac calls and be able to then, right now he monitors it, and it's a large map outside in the hallway where he actually highlights where he is and the dates that he's done. Well, now we'll actually have it digitally, and it'll be stored digitally. So if a resident calls, we can go right to the tracking software and say, we were there, yes, ma'am, but we were there yesterday, that kind of thing.
Which is real helpful.
Right. And it won't be shared with the public. We have residents, or we have people who would like to know where all of our plows are. This will not be shared with the public, but
And we originally Tiger came back and originally giving us that data for all our fleet. I'm like, we don't need that for all of our fleet.
Right.
Like, that is not what I'm looking for. It's really more,
Big
I-
guys, big
yeah,
guns.
yeah.
Okay.
It was significantly more expensive to do it that way. So.
So Amy and we won't have one in our cars. That's good.
Just call Steve. He'll find out.
All
All
right.
right. Any other questions? All right, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Samsara in the amount of $26,639.80 for geo-tracking devices on town-owned equipment.
it was 20 cents higher. I'm sorry. We had a mathematical
Oh,
glitch.
geez. So is it,
Right. It was 304,9
you.
80 instead of 304,960.
Okay,
we're
so edit
20 cents
the
higher.
dollar figure to be $26,640.
Correct.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. John? So this next item is for park benches. So John's coming up in case you have questions about the park bench policy. So in essence, what it is we receive donations. John vets out the location with Christy. Christy works through the donation with the resident in memory of what have you, the location. The resident gives us a donation for it, actually pays for the cost of it. It's shipped to us, we put it together and put it out. And this year we've actually had more than we normally have. Normally we don't trip past $10,000 because Deanna signs each one. We're actually tripping past the $10,000 mark. So now we're coming to you for that. And the thought is to, at that point in time, allow us to increase the available purchases with Country Casual up to an amount of $18,000. They're approximately $1,700 each, and we're just seeing, you know, we've tripped past the level that Deanna can sign off on.
A number of years ago, the Park and Rec Commission, we had different benches everywhere. And they came up with a policy. Actually, your sister was in charge. And so this works out well. So we vet what's going to be on the bench for engraving and also the location. And having the same standard, good quality bench works very well. So
How long does a teak bench last? Because, you know, someone gives it and they put a plaque on it, like, you know, kind of what's the life cycle of
Mine's
that?
already from that manufacturer over 20 years old.
yes.
Over 20.
And we've started now where we try to go through a third of them a year. A lot depends in the winter because we pressure wash them and then put a sealant on them. So we're trying to do each bench every 3 years. A little bit depends. This winter was good. We did a lot of benches this winter because even though we had snow, we had other downtime. We can get a minimum of 10 years. Of course, a tree can fall on them
Sure.
day one, but in general, 10 plus years.
Collect them, bring them in. and
Yeah,
We
that's
collect
winter
them, bring them in, we pressure wash them, usually let them sit for over a week to dry back out before we put the sealant on them and then relocate them back out.
Yeah, they look great when they go back out.
Max, like, I mean, at some point, the labor and I mean, I get it that the resident's paying for the bench, but we're obviously adding a bunch of labor and bringing it in and all that kind of stuff. Is there a max at which point we'll say, you know, we have a max number of benches that we want to service in this community?
I could see that, but I also see that every now and then one does say, okay, this one's
Okay.
broken and
Yeah.
but when they get to the point where they're broken, they're not repairable.
Yeah, no, I get it. You're gonna have turnover, but I'm like, at what point does it become unmanageable to have all these benches?
So far, we haven't had a problem picking locations.
How many do we have right now?
Oh, boy.
And
I
along
don't
that line, I was
know
like,
offhand.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because I know we have a policy at the schools, there's like, you know, this is not necessarily always okay. So we are adding labor and time to our Department of our Parks Department. And I think it's really lovely to do this, but at some point, one, it could get cluttered. Two, you know, the maintenance, I mean, you're not just buying the bench, you're sealing it, you're cleaning it, it's taking.
Right now, since we do it on our downtime, usually over the winter time,
Okay.
we bring them in and take them back out. They stay out there. So it's
Okay.
not like we're bringing them in all the time. I don't think in the near future, and I mean 10, 15 years, we're going to see where we have too many benches. Every now and then we run into a problem with somebody saying, no, it really can't go there, but that's rare. So.
And I guess what I was thinking of, it's just in terms of someone donates a bench, they put a plaque. I mean, and you think like when you're in Central Park, it's like, well, how long does this memorial bench go? And so if something actually is past its useful life and it's, you know, not repairable, that's the end of that
Yes.
use. It's not like we put a new memorial bench in for someone.
We're
It's
not
like,
paying
it's
to
a
put in a
finite
new-
period of time.
Right. We're not paying to put in a new memorial bench when they reach the end of their life.
Yeah, it's just so people understand that.
Right. Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, if not, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works for purchases of wood benches from Country Casual Teak in the amount of $18,000.
Someone.
Second.
It's unanimous. Okay, Irwin Park Project trees. Thank you for being so patient, ladies.
All right. So. Well, thank you for adding this agenda item. We, the quotes came in. We were slated to come on the 22nd, and since that agenda was being changed, our quotes came in late on Friday. So, but I'm joined by Diane Dooley from the New Canaan Garden Club Irwin Park Subcommittee. The other members are either traveling or couldn't make it, and Tai Tan, the landscape architect for the project,
She's here.
is on hand.
She's here.
Right, she's here. And then I left on your desk a sketch that Ty had made for the area that we're looking at, and the planting themselves. So we went out and asked for quotes from 3 vendors, and then negotiated with Planner's Choice. In the end, they were the one that could match all the variety and the quantities that we needed. The pricing was very, very similar between the 3 separate vendors. That was included Hardscrabble Farms from that had won the bid for the South Avenue trees, and it was a unanimous choice between the Garden Club, the landscape architect, and our tree warden that we utilize Planner's Choice for $22,675. There's a delivery charge of $440 in there. And then we had allotted $25,000 for tree planting in our budget. So we put in a contingency at 8% for $1,885. And that's mainly for soil amendments and some material. And then if there is a sizing difference, and the tree warden had asked me to place that in there specifically for soil amendments when we're planting. So we'd like to go forward with the purchase. It's a good amount of trees. Our highway department is finishing on South Avenue at present. One side of the street is completely done. So if you're looking at from Farm Road to Cherry, we're completely done on the eastern side. And then on the western side, we've got a couple of trees left to go from between Farm and Cherry. And then all we have left is from Farm South in front of Saks. We had some problems with a gas line that was in that area. So we actually had to try to tweak the locations. Now we've gotten a good look as to where those locations will be, and they'll be finishing up today, tomorrow. And then we'll be looking at, once these trees come in, moving to Irwin to plant them there.
I have to say, South is beautiful. It is just beautiful, all those trees.
Yeah, he was hoping to have everything there so they would bloom. So we'll see if they actually flower. I don't know if they will, but if they flower, that would be fantastic. But they've done a nice job. We were putting in about 30 a day, which is above what we thought we were going to be able to do our schedule. So
without a lot of disruption too. I mean, the guy, it's amazing. The crew out there, they're working, and traffic's flowing, and it's pretty
right.
amazing.
We also we had a glitch in there because the state was out there at the exact same time doing TVing of their drain lines for the work that's going to happen during the summer. And today we're out there actually TVing our lines for the work that's going to happen during the summer for when they put the 36-inch water line in from Harrison to Farm. We wanted to make sure our sewer lines were good, and the state wanted to make sure their drain lines were good. So they were actually out there with us during that time, and there wasn't really a disruption of traffic.
Did they mark the gas line with those little yellow flags?
Yeah, so you could see where the flags for the gas line were basically right next to the stake for the tree. So we're actually having to move them laterally, either towards the road or away from the road. And we had an issue with a fiber optic line as well, level 3. When they put in level 3, the fiber that part of our system, we had an area of concern there too. But we were able to work around the level 3 areas, and now we're working on navigating the gas line. That's the line that goes to the YMCA from basically the trunk line that's on Farm Road, leads to the YMCA itself.
Diane, the location, I'm just trying to get the location on this. Like, so if you're going down Hackney, we're past the barn. Is it closer towards the entrance, the lower walk entrance?
By Bayberry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
It is.
So it's kind of where we cleared all the stuff. Okay,
It's sort of a triangle and it's bordered by Wahackamy and then paths.
right.
So we feel like it's a super visible area for improvement because so many paths converge around this triangle.
Right. So if you come in off of Bayberry, that lower
That's where it
entrance,
starts.
right there to the left, leading up the hillside, that's the area.
Yep.
You'll get to the water fountain.
I do not.
So it's basically that little break at Bayberry, the first tree in the schematic here, where you're coming up. I always ask this question of Tiger, as far as sightlines go. I mean, there's no, you guys have thought about that.
Everything's behind the wall. So we're
Right.
all set for Wahackamy itself. Everything is behind the wall on town's property.
Right.
There won't be anything on the other side.
Right.
So, but yeah, to your point, Steve, if you're looking at the plan in a landscape view on the left-hand side, that's the entrance off of the pedestrian entrance off of right in front of Bayberry. So you'll be looking at the entire going up the hillside and bordered by, as Diane mentioned, bordered by the trail system itself.
And the tree money, that's the town tree money. Is this ARPA tree money or is it?
I'm happy to take that one. So we thought it was going to be, but we're going to kind of swap because we have capital project money, old capital project
Mhm.
money in the Board of Finances and Ann. We've been trying to clean that up. So we're trying to get rid of old capital projects. So it is ARPA money, but we're going to take it out of the capital instead and keep the other money for.
Yeah, and that's fine. And
Yeah.
the fact that we transferred extra
Yeah.
ARPA money
Yeah.
to the town gives
Yeah.
us the flexibility we
Yeah.
need. But I just want to make sure we're still
Yeah.
staying within the spirit of
Yes.
using that money for trees.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
count it against it, but it's being used out of the capital budget.
Well, I'm glad you guys brought it quickly to the agenda because the timing of planting trees right now is perfect. So,
Yeah.
and the fact that we've
Yeah,
got
thank you
crews out there
for
and
moving us onto
Yeah.
today's agenda.
No, that's my pleasure. I mean, we're really blessed to have, I always say that's the best part of New Canaan. We have so many unbelievable volunteers and to have, all these volunteers doing all this improvement for our community. Thank you, Ty. You've done so many different areas of this community. You're gonna have like a little imprint all over town and, the garden club for all your efforts and making this come to fruition. So.
The contribution so that we could
Yeah.
select these 60 native trees that are just going to make a great contribution for pollinators and birds in the park. Thank you.
spectacular. Great job.
One of these days I'll get back walking there again. Okay, any other questions? If not, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works in partnership with the New Canaan Garden Club to enter into a contract with Planters Choice LLC in the amount of $23,115 plus a contingency of $1,885 for a total project cost of $25,000. The project entails the installation of trees in Irwin Park as part of the club's restoration plan for the Irwin Meadow along the border of Wahackamy Road.
You have to do this. You.
The tree lady.
Oh, so, yeah.
Either
So-
tree. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
This is something that everybody's going to enjoy it for
know.
a century, forever.
Yeah.
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 Feels really good.
Okay,
Right,
Capo Field.
This last one is just a request for to enter into a contract in partnership with the Athletic Foundation for the materials testing on Capo Field with Tri-State Materials Testing for an estimated $50,000. They've done excellent work on projects of this nature, including large quantities of earthwork and concrete. And the monies will be provided by the Athletic Foundation for their services.
And this was an anticipated cost.
Yeah, it was an
For the
anticipated.
project, yeah. Okay. How's that coming along?
The outfield is green. They've glued everything together in the outfield. Now they'll be working towards the infield itself. So they're hoping to be done today, tomorrow with that, and then start the infill process from there. And we're looking at somewhere, they were discussing a May 7, May 5 finish date for the field itself. And obviously we're trying to push every day forward. He had 2 crews working last Thursday, Friday, 2 crews yesterday and today, and then he'll have 1 crew Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week to try to then help him. Every time he has a double crew, he's able to then take off a day, so to speak. to try to then bring us back into back into April from May. But we have a one glitch on a delivery of the guardrail that sits in front of the dugout, so to protect the players. And that delivery date is the May 7th date. So we're trying to push that date earlier. That's the only thing that's outlying right now to be able to then move that forward. But they're feeling that the field will be ready, and then we'll be waiting for that guardrail. I'd like it the other way, where everything is in and I'm waiting for the field. So
What are the odds that the varsity gets to play a game there this year?
season goes pretty long, and if they continue forward, hopefully there'll be at least one or two in there. I haven't looked at their home schedule for May, but I know they had games this week. They had 3 games this week that nothing we could do about those.
No, I mean, it's
then
but
they'll travel
just
again.
Being able to have those seniors be able to take the field would be great.
Would be fantastic. That's what we're shooting for.
Team against your kids' team. Is that going to make it?
I'd like to see if we can have a scrimmage. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Great.
But it's somewhere between states where they want to have a scrimmage. It would be lovely to bring a team from the SEC down to play a team from the FCA. We'll see
It
how
would
that
be.
goes.
Make sure we know when that is.
I'll let you know.
Love to see that.
All right, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works in partnership with the New Canaan Athletic Foundation to enter into a contract with Tri-State Materials Testing, in the amount of $50,000. The project entails the materials testing for the Capo Field project.
Second.
It's unanimous. Okay, and Finance Department.
And you're in the beginning and the end. It's unbelievable.
No, we don't have to plan that very well.
Say that one's a little warm.
As you know, Josh took a promotion in another town. So I have an open position in finance that I do need the assistance on. So we were very fortunate to get a person from a temporary firm, which is Creative Financial Staffing, that we have on board. So I'd like to be able to get a PO set up to be able to pay for a couple of weeks or through the end of this fiscal year at least. With this person, he's hit the ground running. He has very strong munis skills. And so, he got the financials already. He got the legal bills done already. So,
You presented to the Board of Finance already. All right.
so I'm looking to get a purchase order to approve the payment for this person for the temporary firm.
Sounds like you need it.
Thank you.
All right, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Chief Financial Officer and the Human Resources Director for a purchase order with Creative Financial Services in the amount of up to $30,000 for temporary staffing services.
So moved.
It's unanimous.
And we're gonna forgive Josh because he's a nice guy for going to the dark side.
Mm,
Where'd you go?
Terry Ann. Yeah. Yeah, he's the
That
new
annoys me.
CFO.
Gonna make up on the field.
Yeah, he's their CFO. Okay, so you have the contracts in front of you. If you have any questions, let me know. If not,
There
we'll
was.
move on to legal bills. And we are getting close to, June 30th, so we have,
Tracking okay.
we're still tracking, okay.
Negotiations going on.
Yeah, that we've started that, but DPW is over
Yeah, I knew
and,
that.
but police and fire, we've started, but
Yeah,
it's
and
just,
that's the
it's
legal
really
expense.
just starting.
okay.
So it'll be this
So,
summer.
okay, so it'll roll over. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Good.
So if I could get a motion to approve our legal fees,
So moved.
Second.
all right, and no tax overpayments, yay.
Good.
Um,
Is there meeting dates?
Selectmen comments, I think we are going to be canceling next week's Board of Selectmen meeting, so we don't have that. The next meeting is May 6th. I don't have anything else, I don't believe.
I had one comment. I wanted to compliment the restaurants who have patiently abided by our dining and not gone out onto the street.
It's been so lovely.
And it's,
Steve.
I know, and every time, the weather's been amazing, right? So, so I want to compliment those who have chosen to follow the rules and not go on the street. And it's important to recognize them because they've been patient. Some have not, but those who have been patient, we thank them. And I don't know what we can do to, in the future, you know, we set the rules, but, you know,
We do have enforcement.
okay, good.
So if anybody notices someone not complying, we have enforcement
Okay.
that can be sent out. And they do send.
And we don't set the weather. So
Yes.
there you go. Good.
You know, it's,
I know.
it's nice to see everybody saying, okay, we're respectful, we're gonna wait. So
Mhm.
that's good.
Okay.
But, you know, and we talked about, sorry, South Avenue.
Oh,
The way that looks and the way that was accomplished in a short period of time is really, it's really amazing. So hats off to everybody involved in that project. It's something, as we said earlier, we'll enjoy it for a long time. It looks amazing. So
Just a bit.
Go look at it before school ends because the Aquarian Eversource water project starts.
so South Avenue, when are we expecting, giving us
So
hard dates?
Tiger said that I've been communicating to all the groups that I've been speaking with recently that they start the day after school ends in June and we'll be working all through the summer and end work the day before school begins.
So when they say
And for 2
close,
summers.
when they say close South Avenue, what they'll do is detour, right? They're not
Yes.
closing the whole thing.
Right.
They're
If
gonna
your local
detour,
traffic
yeah.
will be allowed through, but no through traffic, everyone else will be detoured.
How about the sidewalks?
It's not touching the sidewalks.
No, so the sidewalks be
Yes,
accessible. That's on that.
if you want to walk by a big construction site.
Well, you know, a lot,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people exercising on
Yes,
South Avenue.
yes,
So
yes. So the sidewalks will be open. So,
They better be careful about our trees too.
yes, I know. Trust me. That'll be Tiger's job to make sure they're, you know, not messing with our new trees.
also, I have to say, I appreciate everybody in town not putting signs up. The commercial
Yeah.
signs, we used to have everyone, you know, we have a rule, you can't put a commercial sign up. And there was a lot of it happening and I'm seeing that there really aren't many anymore. So that's great. So that it makes town look even better.
We should also have a plug for Earth Day too. That's coming up.
Oh,
so-
yes, yes. In fact, the 3 of us will be celebrating. So now I don't have to worry if not having a Board of Selectmen meeting because
That's right. We'll-
we're gonna be doing our bit.
Clean a mile, is
We're
it?
cleaning them
what-
out,
Are we
yeah.
2 o'clock?
Oh, that's right. And this Friday is 2 Lights for Tomorrow. So it is the official kickoff event of the America 250 effort. So Friday, the town hall is closed, but we are going to have 2 lights in town hall. It is to celebrate the ride of Paul Revere on the overnight of April 18th to 19th, which kicked off the Revolutionary War.
So cool.
So please put 2 lights non-flammable as our fire marshal has asked me to communicate. Use those battery operated or flashlights in your windows or dormers or whatever. And celebrate, this really amazing year we have coming up. So I'm excited. Tucker has been really kind of getting a big group together in town to kind of plan for celebrations throughout the, June 14th Flag Day through November 11th Veterans Day and celebrating America 250.
Great. Very excited.
All right. With that, if I could get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you.